The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spar05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes. Hello and welcome to the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli. It's the final race weekend at the TT circuit of Assen. We've seen our champions crowned already in the GT and the Sport divisions. Now the spotlight falls on the Superlights, the rapid sports prototypes, as they seal up their championship titles. The Superlights are divided into two classes, Group 2 and Group 3. The Group 2 championship was wrapped up in Brands Hatch in Kent. Last year, Henk Tace was second in the title race in his Radical SR8, but this season, despite strong opposition, he claimed the title in the fourth race weekend of the season.
2014 was for the Superlight.
Henk says 2014 season was a little different from last year's, where I had to push really hard to win races and didn't manage to do so at every round. So I ended up second in the championship. But this year, not quite so difficult, mainly because my rivals had mechanical problems. Like Henk Hane had major problems with his Tartus, so he lost a lot of points. So I might be the new Group 2 champion, but I'm keen to show what I've got. Still got unfinished business. My co-driver is Rob Weldon, in a very fast lad. We're going to make life very difficult for the Gibson boys. We want to beat them in the final race. Well, that'll be the second race of the weekend. One of the advantages of already being champion is being able to offer young talent a chance to drive the 440 horsepower Radical SR8. For the second time this year then, Belgium's Naomi Schiff is at the wheel. She'll do the first race of the weekend and hopefully enjoy a little bit more luck than last time out at Zolder.
Yeah, well, we had quite a rough weekend last time out in Zolder. We had some problems with the car. The clutch broke, which meant that we couldn't drive the first race. The second race was all in the rain, so actually this weekend I'm still learning a bit about the car, which is really enjoyable to drive. It's also my first time on the circuit, so it's a combination of the two, but it'll be good fun. I'll drive the whole race myself, so that'll give me time to do both, learn the car and the circuit, and I think it'll go okay.
Well, a new car and a new circuit are not enough to put her off, and she does go more than okay, finishing second in race 1 despite strong opposition. Winners are Dan Gibson and Tom Bradshaw in the Gibson GH19, and they of course won both races in Brands Hatch. Third place, Henk Hane and Chris Cools with the Tartus, and they won both races at Spa-Francorchamps. That's impressive for a rookie. Well, the Group 3 battle is not yet over. Unfortunately, reigning champion Ko Kapian is unable to defend his title here in Assen. Despite 4 wins this season, he's out of the running by just a single point. So how has that happened? Well, he explains, I had a puncture in race 1 at the Nürburgring, and then in the second race in Germany we had a collision, so again scored no points. In Zolder we had a broken engine, so no points there as well. Well, if the car doesn't let me down this time, we're going for 2 race wins for sure. Not being champion anymore will hurt a little less if we can outrun the competition. Most of the time I'm the quickest driver in the fields, and that's always good. So that's our main goal for the weekend. We'll have to see how it goes. Fibo Rademacher is still fighting for the championship, though he's 32 points behind in his Radical SR3. With 44 on offer over the last weekend, he'll have to pull out all the stops to be champion. But with 2 wins to his credit, it's definitely not impossible.
Ja, ik hoop hier heel erg goed te scoren.
Well, I'm really hoping to go well here in Assen, says Vibo. Need to remain calm and focus on my race. There's no need to try and win both races. There's more to it than that. Ko Kapian is the man to beat. He's really fast. We've got another quick driver in our class as well called Schumacher. That's a good name. Losing to a Schumacher wouldn't be any disgrace, but I've got high hopes. I'm confident we'll do well and have great fun here this weekend. The championship leader is Carlo Kaya in the Praga R1. After a consistent season, he has almost got one hand on the championship trophy.
Ja, dat moet inderdaad raar gaan lopen. Maar het zou nog wel kunnen, want als ik dus 2 keer uitval...
Well, things will have to get really crazy for us not to win the championship this weekend. But as you know, if you don't finish, you're out of it. Finishing the first race should be enough to secure the title, so I'm not really worried. Ko Kapian's very quick, so I don't think I can win. We're lucky that Ko had some mechanical problems earlier in the season, so he's dropped back in the points. I've managed to put in consistent lap times and finish every race, And that's the most important thing in the Supercar Challenge. Finishing every race is more important than ending up on the podium, but dropping out of some other races. If you can finish every race, you collect a lot of points, and that's where we are right now. Ready for the first start then, on board with Rik van Geffen. Wiebo Rademacher there with a gold roll hoop, left and front, and a row in front. Carlo Kaya, the white Praga. So the Praga driver with a slight advantage, one step closer to the championship. Rob Campus alongside us, the red and white car. Ooh, little slowing down there. That's Chris Cools in the Tartus, and that is going to cost places. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is Philippe Leclerc flying through in the Norma. More power than most of the other cars in the class. Into the first corner at Harbach then. A little bit of drifting out wide. Rob Campus goes out very wide there. We've dropped down to 11th place. Looks like we're going to go back inside Rob Campus into the long right-hander at Ossabrücken. And then switching back to the hairpin. Tucks in front of Campus. Oh, trouble in front. Carlo Kaya facing the wrong way, and the radical there is Jens Pedersen as well. A couple of small contacts, but I think everybody got away with that. Let's take a look from Wiebo Rademacher's view. Up to Strubben, just in front, Carlo Kaya trying to go inside. Jens Pedersen misjudges it, has to lock up, spins around and takes Pedersen around with him. And that makes things very tricky for the championship. All Kaya needs to do is finish the race without problems, but he comes limping over the line, just makes it to the flag. Kokopian wins his 5th race of the season, the most successful driver in Group 3 this year. Second is the Norma driver Philippe Leclerc. 3rd place for Wiebo Rademacher, despite a drive-through penalty. He's the only title contender on the podium. Carlo Kaya's Praga is beyond repair. He won't make it onto the Race 2 grid, but his 4th place finish is just enough to take the Superlights Group 3 title by the narrowest of margins. Just as well, he had a lead coming in here to the final round.
Het voelt goed, het is leuk.
That feels good for sure. It's my first season in Superlights. Of course, I had a bit of luck on my side. We had great strategies though throughout the season, well-planned pit stops during safety cars and so on. So I think it's all worked really well. We collected points in every round, and that's what matters. Like I said before, it's more important to finish a race than to try and win it and score no points if you overdo it. So our champions are crowned, but who will be the final race winner in the 2014 Superlight season? On pole, Daniel Gibson with the Gibson GH19, winner of both races at Brands Hatch. Although the circuit at Assen is brand new to both drivers, they were still faster than reigning champion Henk Thees at his home track, and he won't like that. Henk will start this race. Radical factory test driver Rob Weldon will take over during the mandatory pit stops. But the race does not get away well for Thees when he stalls at the beginning of the formation lap. He does get the SR8 started, however, to retake his 2nd place on the grid with no problems. But there are bigger problems for Kokopian, the fastest man in qualifying. He should be starting from 3rd, but is not on the grid. He's on the side of the track, hard up against the barriers, hitting the guardrail on cold tyres. He said, yeah, really a shame. Tyres were cold. There's no grip at all. I know that, but I just overdid it, weaving to warm up the tyres. I was weaving left and right. Suddenly the car snapped away. I was on the grass. That was wet. So that didn't slow me down either. Hit the barrier, broke the suspension. It's all very lightweight bodywork, so that didn't deflect the impact. So unfortunately, my race is over. So there's no Kokopian in the final race of the season. That'll give him a few sleepless nights in the winter for sure. And there's no Rik van Geffen either. His Radical suffered too many problems in Saturday's race. All he can do now is support teammate Wiebo Rademacher from the pit wall. Daniel Gibson leads the field with Henk Thees alongside, then Denny van Dongen's Praga and Jens Pedersen in the Radical SR3. Wiebo Rademacher on board, ready to go. And as the lights change, he's got a good start this time. Almost contact there with the Radical alongside. It's Henk Thees from Daniel Gibson. 3 wide for 4th place. Oh, goodness. Philippe Leclerc inside Danny van Dongen and Noel Kohler running out wide. Wiebo Rademacher loses a little bit of momentum but avoids any dramas. Henk Thees leads Daniel Gibson. Then the black car in 3rd place. That's Chris Cools in the Tartus. And there is the closed Praga. That's down in 7th place, Noel Kohler. Rob Campus having a little look on the inside of Wiebo Rademacher there. Rademacher, he himself has got a bit of a run going here. That's David Huttoft in front in the Norma, but the Norma pulling away fast down the straight. Well, there is Henk Thees and the Radical SR8. Daniel Gibson all over the back of him in the tight stuff. 3rd place, Chris Cools. fourth Philippe Leclerc, then Jens Pedersen, Denny van Dongen, Wiebo Rademacher attacking David Huttoft in the Norma. Well, different battles here between the cars, some of them with more horsepower, less downforce, and some like the Radicals with more downforce and grip and a little less power and weight. Good run up the inside of the Norma, and through he goes. That's to 7th place overall. That's 4th in the class. So Daniel Gibson now with the lead down the straight. Henk Tace uses the SR8's horsepower to go back in front into the first turn. That's a great battle. Chris Coles, then Philippe Leclerc, the green and white, then Jens Pedersen with the orange highlights on his SR3. He shares with York Schumacher, no relation to Michael. And the Praga of Danny van Dongen right behind, the car in the red, white and blue martini colours. He's lunging to the inside at Strubben and almost gets himself in trouble. They both fall over the back of the green and white Norma of Philippe Leclerc. Pedersen almost got through. And in the end, didn't have enough drive onto the straight, and Leclerc somehow survived. Again, a change for the lead. Daniel Gibson back in front. The car 200 horsepower less than the Radical, 200 kilos less as well. So a great battle of different cars. And as that rages on, Philippe Leclerc tries to cling to the lead in Group 3. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes. Final race weekend of the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli at Assen in the Netherlands, and the last race for the Superlights. Henk Tace taking the lead in Group 2. In Group 3, Philippe Leclerc goes 3 wide on the inside, almost causing a massive pile-up as he takes the lead of the class in Turn 1. Well, there could be tears before bedtime. It's going to be a close battle in both classes. Philippe Leclerc still leads in the Norma from Jens Pedersen. On lap 4, Daniel Gibson retaking the lead yet again from Henk Tace in the lighter, slightly less powerful Gibson GH19. Henk Tace, more power, about 200 horsepower more in the Radical SR8, but it weighs about 250 kilos more, and that's a great battle. Oh, look at this! Very wild indeed from Chris Coles, the third place man in the Tartus. Ramshoek there, the fastest part of the circuit, nearly binned it entirely. Green and white Norma is Philippe Leclerc. He is leading Group 3. He's 4th place overall. Down the inside into Strubben. Lunges Jens Pedersen. The Radical gets its nose in front, but down the straight, the Norma comes back at him. And there is the Praga of Denny van Dongen. Wiebo Rademacher right behind. So we've got top 4 in the group with 3 different machines. On board with Rademacher in one of the Radicals, 210 horsepower, 570 kilos. The Praga just in front, the heaviest car, 590 kilos, 212 horsepower, so fraction more than Radical. The Norma, most power, 255, and least weight, 540 kilos. So in fact, it seems to have the best balance on paper, just in front by inches as Rademacher has a little look at the tail of Denny van Dongen. Trying to keep the speed through these fast sweeping return corners down to the last part of the circuit. Well, through goes our class leader, Philippe Leclerc. Jens Pedersen in 2nd place. Denny van Dongen tracking him right in front as Wiebo Rademacher bides his time. Oh, big front wheel lock up, Philippe Leclerc. That's a real problem for the Norma driver. New leader is Jens Pedersen. Through has gone Denny van Dongen into 2nd. He comes back on in 3rd, briefly in front of Wiebo Rademacher, who goes right by him the first time they touch the brakes. So Leclerc has gone from 1st to 4th. There in 5th place, that's David Huttoft in his Norma. 6th place is Rob Campus in his white and red Radical. Lap 10 and Henk Tace leading once more from Daniel Gibson. 6 times at the line there's been a different leader, never mind all the passes on track and repasses. Tace wanted to be in front before the pit stops, ahead of the car that won both races in Brands and race 1 here in Assen.
Ja, dat is geweldig. Die Gibson auto.
Fantastic fight, says Henk. That Gibson car is really good. It's got huge downforce. It's around 200 kilos lighter than my Radical, so that's a good bonus for them. They can brake very late. Of course, I got a little more horsepower, so I'm quicker down the straights. It was a great battle. I'm really thrilled to finish my season leading the race. It's like an extra little gift. Daniel Gibson brings the car in for its mandatory pit stop to hand over to Tom Bradshaw. The Gibson GH19 does have massive downforce, but that means less straight line speed. And with a strong wind picking up at Assen, might that be helping him lose out to Henk Tace?
When we're running into a strong headwind, that was where Henk was making a lot of the damage on me. Every time I nipped in front, I got away a little bit. I thought I could take a breather, and of course, next thing he's right under my rear wing again. So no, it's good fun, really good fun in the end. So really happy, and he's got a great smile on his face, so I can't complain.
That's what Superlights is all about. Tom Bradshaw leaves the pit lane first, despite Rob Weldon in the Radical. He takes over from Henk Tace, having 5 result seconds less. They've got a minor clutch problem, and the Gibson is over a second and a half faster per lap. Catching is going to be tough. Battle for Group 3 honours here. Jens Pedersen leading in the Radical SR3 by inches from Danny Van Dongen. Wiebe Rademacher in third, the black and gold car. Philippe Leclerc still in fourth, as Danny Van Dongen has a little look on the inside, down into Strubben, the door shut. So Van Dongen denied there, but onto the Feinslang. He is very close indeed to Jens Pedersen. Wiebe Rademacher right behind this duo as they sweep through Ruskenhoek and Steckenwal. And then the short squirt up to the big break at the Bult for the left-hander, and Van Dongen is going down the inside. Puts the car where it's indefensible, and through he goes to take the lead. And Rademacher now right behind his fellow Radical SR3 driver. Jens Pedersen just a little offline, lost momentum there as Van Dongen claimed the lead in Group 3 in that Praga R1. Jens Pedersen in second place now. Very experienced gentleman driver. He's also raced the Radical SR9, the car that raced in the 2006 Le Mans 24 Hours as an LMP2 car. He raced it in 2008 in the Le Mans Endurance Series. Under attack now, Wiebe Rademacher late on the brakes, dives down the inside into the Gert Timmer chicane. And that means that Jens Pedersen has lost 2 places in 1 lap as he comes across the line there in third spot where he led last time round. And Pedersen looking to come back on the inside, didn't quite have enough there to get back inside Wiebe Rademacher. So Rademacher having a really good run in second place now. Danny Van Dongen starting to ease away a little in the Praga. Maybe that's why Rademacher felt he needed to make a move there to catch up as early as possible. Mandatory pit stop. Well, he's the only man with result seconds in this lead group, 5 in total, which means that the leaders, Danny Van Dongen and Robert Haub, will stay in front, or should stay in front. Robert Haub, less experienced, not as quick as Wiebe Rademacher, as we saw at Brands Hatch. So Rademacher keen to catch the man in front and move up the order. Jörg Schumacher dropping down the order after the pit stops. He's not quite as quick. Rademacher now battling with Henk Hane in the Tartus. Tartus 535 kilos, 255 brake horsepower. So very evenly matched again. Little lock up there into Strubben, and that gives Rademacher all he needs. Uses a good line on the exit. And look at the power of the Norma. Comes back in front of him down the straight. A little bit of a frustrating battle when you're quick on brakes and in the corners, but lose out on horsepower. And again, you can see Rademacher almost driving around the outside of the Norma. And in fact, literally doing just that to retake that spot. Well, there is Robert Haub, the race leader, taking over from Danny Van Dongen in the Praga. Going to be close. This is the yellow Acela of Heinz Kramer, lying in third place in Group 3 after the pit stops. Third fastest lap time as well. Excellent outing for the little Italian machine. David Hotoft in the blue Norma and Philippe Leclerc behind him. Down into Strubben they go. Into the first corner. Oh, and the Norma loops around. Now, was there a touch there? I'm not sure there was. Carlo Kaya goes by to take 5th place in the class. Let's take a look again. Watch the 2. Oh, maybe just the tiniest of bumps. The car right on edge there, and that's just all it takes. 2, trying to use 1 bit of tarmac. Battle for 4th place. Philippe Leclerc just in front of Carlo Kaya in the close Praga. Kaya squeezing inside and outside. I think Leclerc is going to take the line. Indeed he does, remains in front. And the Praga, with a little less horsepower but more aero grip, he's got to look inside, and again, here he comes, dives to the inside, snatches 4th place, at least for the moment. Running away out front is the Gibson of Tom Bradshaw, the car run by university students and graduates. This is their 4th race in the Supercar Challenge, and it's their 4th victory, a perfect score.
Yeah, fantastic. It was a real pleasure. Car was spot on right the way through the stint, so yeah, awesome job by the team, Gibson Motorsport, and yeah, awesome.
First time out at Assen, 2 races, 2 wins for Daniel Gibson and Tom Bradshaw. Most impressive, certainly no home track advantage for them. Henk Tace led before the pit stops. He and factory radical driver Rob Weldon ended up in 2nd place, with Chris Coulson, Henk Harner with the Tartus in 3rd on the podium again. Well, the Tartus chassis is 7 seconds a lap slower than the Gibson GH19, so there's still some work to do, but Harner does secure 2nd place in the Group 2 Championship in the season's final standings. Well, the story of Group 3 was all about Wiebe Rademacher in the black and gold car trying to catch Robert Haupt in the race-leading Praga. After the pit stops, he was closing fast, but it transpires the team has made an error. His mandatory stop was too short, and he's handed a drive-through penalty, and that spells an end to his chances of winning the race. There are no mistakes this time for Robert Haupt. At Brands, he spun the Praga, trying to pass Rademacher at Druids, but here in Assen, he takes the checkered flag to win the race with teammate Denny van Dongen. They end up 14.8 seconds ahead of the delayed Rademacher, much to the young man's delight.
It was a great race. We had some technical difficulties with the pressure of the shifting, which I thought was critical, but I didn't see any of my class drivers overtake me, so I'm really happy that we won the race. Really, really glad.
Fastest lap time for the new champion Carlo Kaya, as he finishes in 4th place, recovering from Noel Kohler's disappointing first stint where he dropped back down to 7th in class. Danny van Dongen and Robert Haupt taking the final race win of the season. Top step of the podium for the Praga duo. Carlo Kaya didn't make the podium in either race here, but still ends up a fitting champion. As he said, winning races isn't the important thing, scoring points is, and he'd done enough earlier in the year. And that is it for the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli for 2014. But we will have a season review coming up early in December, so look out for all the action then. Bye for now. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes.